This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
I'm Roby Brock. Welcome to Talk Business and Politics Daily. It is Tuesday, August 30th. Let's check out today's top stories. It was a happy birthday for State Representative Bill Gossage. The Ozark Republican House member has been named Governor Asa Hutchinson's Deputy Chief of Staff. He'll have to resign his House seat instead of running for re-election. As part of an ongoing reorganization of the Arkansas Department of Human Services, Medicaid Director Dawn Steele is being named Deputy Director for Health and Medicaid, making her one of two DHS Deputy Directors. Meanwhile, DHS is creating a centralized policy review committee that will report directly to Director Cindy Gillespie. Steele previously reported to Deputy Director Mark White, who's left the agency. After dropping for 2 months, including a streak of 53 of 54 days, retail gasoline prices on the rise heading into the official Labor Day holiday, which begins on Wednesday and runs through Monday, September 5th. At $2.22 a gallon, the national average price for regular unleaded gasoline has increased for 15 consecutive days. Tuesday's average price marks an increase of 6 cents per gallon compared to 1 week ago and 8 cents per gallon compared to 1 month ago. In Arkansas, those prices are 15 to 20 cents cheaper. And those are your top stories of the day. You can check out a full read on those articles and much more at our website at talkbusiness.net. Still to come, what's on State Senator Joyce Elliott's agenda for the next legislative session? We'll go inside the numbers for a look at the latest on the housing front. And in the presidential race, I sat down with newcomer Evan McMullen to find out what his electoral college strategy is. All of this and more when we come back.
First Security is here. Only here. So that means we're here, here, and here. Even here. And definitely here. Because here is where we want to be for you. First Security Bank. Only in Arkansas.
Arkansas's most abundant natural resource provides the core asset for Deltic Timber Corporation. In addition to the sustainable yield stewardship of its well-stocked timberlands, Deltic adds value by integrating its efficient wood products manufacturing facilities, as well as through planned development of commercial and residential real estate. Deltic Timber Corporation, creating value for a growing Arkansas.
One of the most familiar faces around the state capitol is State Senator Joyce Elliott. She has been a voice for many liberal causes, but she's also shown an amazing ability to work across party lines. I caught up with her to talk politics, policy, and what it's like to be in one of the most iconic images of the 2016 presidential campaign.
I know you are obviously a huge Hillary Clinton fan, not a big fan of Donald Trump, but I want you to give me the name or names of some Republicans you enjoy working with in the state legislature.
I enjoy working with Jeremy Hutchinson, Jim Hendren, and I want to give you some House people too. I'd like to do that. I enjoy working with our President Pro Tem, and that's interesting because we weren't always we didn't always work together. Not that we were apart, but we found a way. Because he's more reserved, I'm not reserved at all, and we have crossed some lines there, and I think that's very good. And for the most part, I get along with so many of the House members and work with them very well. And one of them I worked with a great deal is like Representative Gossage, who just got a promotion. We work together on legislation.
That could work well for you then.
Yeah.
In the governor's office, you got a new end.
Let's hope. And I've worked very well with people like Representative Beck and let's see who else over there. I've worked well with the speaker as well. Yeah. And Charlotte Douglas and I have worked together on lots of things. But I make it a point to make sure I know the House members because there are so many of them that are new, and I have truly enjoyed working with House members that I've gotten to have a really good relationship with. Because one of the things senators don't do a lot sometimes is get to know the folks on the other end, and I never wanted to be one of those people.
So it sounds like you could be converting from Democrat to Republican with all this goodwill towards Republicans.
You might need to check your hearing. One of the things that I've always insisted on is holding my own self personally accountable for not getting caught up in my own echo chamber. And the best way to do that is be sure you have relationships with people beyond your own echo chamber. And I really enjoy that, because I have always had to live by the reality of knowing my way, just because of who I am, was probably not going to be the prevailing way without having relationships with people on the other side of whatever line. Because for me, that means being a woman, that means being a liberal, that means being a Democrat, and that also means being African American. And so I've had to live my life figuring out a way to work with other people, and that has served me well.
Let's talk about the 2017 legislative session. I know it's a ways away, but
Not far
I know
enough.
you're thinking already about
Yes.
some things that will be
Yes.
legislative priorities for you.
Yes.
Name me one thing that you know you're going to put your name on in terms of a piece of legislation, either conceptually or in greater detail.
Well, I hope, conceptually, I hope I'm able to put my name on a piece of legislation that really changes our accountability system in education. Because, you know, all these years of using the system that we have, I think we have pretty much have evidence that it hasn't worked really well. We keep pointing at schools, but it's more than just that. So the federal government has passed new legislation in place of No Child Left Behind. It requires the states then to respond by recrafting what we're doing, and a lot of that gives the ability to the states to make more decisions and for localities to make more decisions. That's a big responsibility, however, because there are many things that we still have to do, but we get lots of leeway. I expect to be able to put my name on legislation that does some reforms to the criminal justice system. With the legislative task force on criminal justice that I'm a part of right now, many things, I don't want people to misunderstand that to be that this addresses everything. It doesn't. The legislation was not designed to do that. But there are some really important recommendations that I hope I'm able to put my name on. And funding for pre-K, I expect that we are going to have some legislation to, despite everything out there, to fund pre-K, because everybody knows, for the most part, I think there are only a very few people who don't understand the importance of investing in our kids early on.
So let's go back to politics. This will be my last question for you.
Sure.
Here. You were at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. There is this iconic image that made national rounds of you and former State Representative Johnny Roebuck crying in each other's arms. What were you processing emotionally at that time? It's such a powerful moment.
It really was, because all my life, I always thought I would probably never see an African-American president. I thought I would see a woman as president before I would see an African-American. But just the realization that finally the United States is entering the same realm with all of these countries, some highly industrialized and some not, where we are nominating a woman to run for the presidency of the United States in the Democratic Party. And just I think it was kind of a culmination of the last 8 years that we've gone from Barack Obama to having somebody possibly in the Oval Office who represents more than half the people in this country. And having grown up as an African American and a woman, and having to deal with the slings and arrows of both those things, and see both of those entities represented in the White House. And also the fact that Johnny Roebuck and I have been on such a long trajectory together. We have fought a lot of these battles to advance the cause of women. And I don't think either one of us was thinking anything in unison deliberately, but it was just one of those moments where you're just overwhelmed that this is actually happening. And we were surprised. I was surprised when I saw the picture. I don't even remember when we did that. I have no memory of that. So I need to be much more respectful of people when things happen to them and they say, I don't remember. And the interesting thing happened the next day. You know, we got an article from a reporter in Norway or Denmark. I was Denmark, where the picture was there, and I got the article, I looked at it, and I recognized the picture, but of course I couldn't read Danish. So thank God for Google. I could immediately go to Google and translate it. But it was a powerful, powerful moment. And that picture is, I mean, I think it really does capture the moment. But I just felt so overwhelmed and pleased and proud that the Democratic Party was nominating this woman.
State Senator Joyce Elliott, longtime Democrat from Little Rock. Later in the week, we'll catch up with Lieutenant Governor Tim Griffin. A word from our sponsors, and we'll highlight the latest from our Arkansas home sales report. After that, Better for America and independent candidate for President Evan McMullin. He just made the Arkansas ballot last week. He's not suggesting he'll win, but he's hoping to help Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton lose. We're back to explain right after this.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America, moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
As Arkansas's population grows, so do our energy demands. But with the right mix of resources, reliable, affordable power will always be a reality. These resources are all around us in our rivers, blowing through our trees, even right below our feet. The answer isn't focusing on one resource, it's embracing them all. The electric cooperatives of Arkansas know that a balanced approach to power builds our communities and powers our dreams. Visit themixmatters.com and see why there's power in knowledge.
Once a month, we take a look at what's happening on the home sales front in Arkansas. It's our state home sales report sponsored by Deltic Timber and Arvest Bank. We look at 4 markets: Central Arkansas, Northwest Arkansas, Fort Smith, and Jonesboro. They comprise about 3/4 of all home sales activity in the state. Let's go inside the numbers for the latest. Positive 10%, plus 10%. It was a slower July than last year, but still year-to-date home sales across Arkansas are up 10% compared to a year ago. January through July numbers show that 15,033 homes were sold in the first 7 months of the year. That is a 10% improvement. $2.699 billion. That was the total value of those homes sold. Can we just round up to $2.7 billion? I think that's going to be a little easier to digest there. That's up 14% compared to the same period in 2015. And this total valuation is up 30% compared to the same period in 2014. Our last numbers, 3,466 and 3,299. Here's some numbers to watch. There were 3,466 homes sold in Benton County year to date, and 3,299 homes sold in Pulaski County from January through July. It's a lot of growth in Northwest Arkansas. Keep an eye on those numbers. Now, you can catch our Arkansas home sales report on our website at talkbusiness.net. A quick break and more for my interview with Evan McMullin, independent candidate for president. What's his strategy to win? We'll find out after this.
Circuits turn on the lights by making a connection, by closing the loop. At Entergy, we believe our economy is circular too. What you put in comes back. So we invest billions in new infrastructure, which helps attract new industry, which helps create new jobs. We partner with local communities to electrify the economy, and together we power life. Entergy.
You've likely heard of the Great Arkansas Treasure Hunt. In fact, you or your business may have property to claim in the hunt. But where does this treasure come from? Businesses like yours. The law calls it unclaimed property. If your business is holding money on its books that you've not been able to return to the owner, it's most likely unclaimed property, and the law requires it to be sent to the state auditor's office each year. Auditor Andrea Lee's office can make the process for businesses to comply with the law easy and straightforward. Help us help you return Arkansans' unclaimed property at auditor.ar.gov.
On Sunday's TV edition of Talk Business and Politics, we were joined by Evan McMullin. He's an independent candidate for president, hoping to appeal to conservatives and Republicans turned off by Donald Trump. Last week, he made the Arkansas ballot under the Better for America party banner. McMullin seems aware that he's not going to win 270 electoral college votes, but He hopes he can prevent the two major party candidates from doing the same.
Well, that's just it. It is a different strategy. We're too late to have a conventional strategy, so ours is different. We intend to deny Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump a majority in the Electoral College, which would then take the election to the House, and then every state would have a vote. And so that's what our goal is. That's a reasonable goal given the late stage in which we entered the race. And so we have a strategy that's consistent with that goal, and we're making decisions that support that.
That's Evan McMullen, independent candidate for president. He'll be on the Arkansas ballot this fall. You can catch his full interview with me at talkbusiness.net. That's all for today's Talk Business and Politics Daily. Thank you for watching. I'm Roby Brock. We'll see you tomorrow. Until then, take care.